We're back with Staying in My Lane podcast. Today I have Emily.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so should we tell people how we met?
Sure.
Okay, so I actually met you.
The first time I met you was at Shiny Top. Do you remember this?
No.
We were all out.
No, I don't remember this.
Like the cops, the wives.
Shut up. I do remember. Yeah.
And I remember I was over at the bar and then I turn around and then you're like, "Hi, I'm Lindsay." And then I was like, "Hi." And then people were like the wives were like am I holding this right?
Yeah.
Okay. The microphone, sorry.
The googly eyes, like.
Well, no, well then you walked away. I just I don't even know. And they're like, "Oh, like, do you know who that is?" I was like, "I don't know who it is, but I think she added me on Facebook." And they're like, "Yeah, she adds everybody on Facebook. Like, she's weird."
Bitches. I mean, you're not wrong.
Like, blah, blah, blah. She has a fake name on Facebook. Like, oh, they think that they're like undercover or something like that. Like
Negative.
Yeah, like, or that you need to be undercover or not undercover, but like hide your identity because I don't know. But I was like, oh, I don't know.
Oh my gosh, I did not. I forgot about that.
Do you remember?
No, I don't.
We were at Shiny Top. And then, yeah. So that's where
What year was this?
Oh, God.
2020?
Probably. I always think of years now, like when my kids were born. Was it before kids or after? I feel like it was for sure after I was born.
Okay.
So maybe 2020?
Yeah,
2020.
2019. Yeah. Probably 2020 because I was pregnant and I was living apart from Andrew in 2019 because we had.
You guys were definitely together because you were there with him.
Okay. So 2020.
Because it was like cops, wives. We were all there.
Oh, interesting.
I cannot believe you don't remember that.
I don't remember this. Oh my God, no, I don't. So when I first heard your name, I was at a funeral and I heard people talking about you and I literally was like, absolutely not. If that's your friend, don't talk about her. And I was like, no. I was very like standoffish immediately with that group.
Because of that?
Because of that. Like red
you
flag.
Knew. Because that funeral was in 2020?
2019.
2019. It was right after I remember I stayed home with him that day.
Yep.
I was supposed to go to that funeral.
Yeah.
We know why I was not there.
I know. And so I literally was like immediate red flag.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Those people were supposed to be my best friends. Were my best friends, right?
Yeah.
The people that I would spend almost every single night at their house.
Yeah.
They would drink. We would drink. I should say we because I would participate.
Yeah. We
would drink. That's the lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
Drink, let the kids play in a different room every single weekend.
Wow. Yeah.
And so like and I don't know.
Did you know that they were talking behind your back?
No.
Because immediately well, that's funny because so I heard, and Andrew and I addressed this on the podcast that he was on. I was told numerous times that I was a controlling wife and that I control him and I don't let him do anything, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
But the real reason is because he sees through people's bullshit and he doesn't want to be out socializing.
Right.
And so it's funny that it was like, oh, she's undercover. No, my ex is crazy. So.
Yeah. And like, I think that's like a piece too, where like there's adults who are our age. I'm 33. How old are you?
34.
Yeah. So like we're the same age.
Yeah.
And like we're like that there's still people who act and talk like they're literally in high school still.
Literally. Yeah.
And like at what point do you say, okay, I'm in my 30s,
I need to act like it?
Yeah. I need to like just give people the benefit of the doubt. Wow, like okay, Emily's not at this funeral. Maybe instead of talking to other people about it, why don't I check in with her and see if she's okay? Because the reason I didn't go to that funeral is because my husband at the time and I were fighting the night before. And it carried over to the morning.
So why not be a good friend and check on you?
And they all knew that I was fighting with him.
Oh,
and so why would I put on this fake? I just bumped this microphone.
It's okay.
I just put on why would I put on a fake face the next morning? My ex-husband you're really not going to go to this funeral? Like, do you know what people are going to say? Do you know what people are going to think? I'm like, no, I'm going to actually stay home with our baby and not pretend and act like everything's okay because it's not okay.
Because you're authentic.
Right. And like if I was, because I was not in any way, I was not in any mood to just put on a fake face and be like, yeah, I could go and support the Blue family, like loved them at the time, like still respect police officers, but like at the same time, like, no. And that's the thing, is like everything was bad then too.
I think it's kind of funny because and this is no disrespect, but I'm just going to keep it really honest. I think Blue family is bullshit because it's all gossip and it's all behind each other's back.
Mm-hmm.
And well, maybe not everywhere, but here.
Yeah.
And it's really unfortunate because it could be something good.
Yeah. And I think that like I was a part of like, how many of there was like 5 of us, 4 of us for sure.
Yeah.
And again, like they were my sisters. Like their husbands were my brothers. Like I considered them family. But then like I hear a story, you know, like, oh, I was at this funeral and like all like the Blue family was there, all law enforcement was there, and like they still were not like checking on me like, hey, are you good?
Which is so sad because it could be so much better, but it just shows like the fakeness.
And I'm so happy not having them in my life anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I was going to say I didn't know you before then, but I guess I met you. But that would explain a lot though, what you said, because I would say hi to people and try to be nice.
Yeah.
And they were like, so like,
mm-hmm. Because it's all about he said, she said.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it goes into like the immaturity, like we're not going to like see or meet somebody for who they are.
Yeah.
As a first impression, first introduction. Instead of you like hear about like this person and you're like, oh, don't like them because this person doesn't like them. Well, guess what? You don't like each other either.
Exactly.
So what's the point?
Because you're talking shit about each other.
Yes.
And you're supposed to be besties.
And I was in a friend group where literally we would talk bad about each other all the time. And I'm like, what? Those aren't even friendships, you know?
No. Well, and it's funny because I was so intimidated by you guys at first because
were you intimidated by me?
I was.
But it's like who I hung out with, and that we were like unstoppable, right? Like we were like a power like friendship group, and
because I was like, oh, this would be really fun to like be part of this. But then I was
nope.
like, no, seeing it now, no. I mean, I'm obviously happy to have you. Because I feel like now it's like we can have a good friendship and genuine friendship. But it was like, I was like, oh, I love this. This is so fun. Because I worked for a police officer in where I lived before. And I kind of saw some of that Blue family. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of that was pretty genuine. And we went to the Black and Blue Ball, Andrew and I did. And we hung out with that PD rather than Fort Dodge because it was a couple of people that
okay. So you went to the ball as a Fort Dodge family. Mm-hmm. Okay, when he was the Fort Dodge cop. Mm-hmm. Okay.
But we were not invited into that circle. Oh. So we hung out with who I know.
Right.
And we were so welcomed by them and they were so kind.
So it was like a different like culture, like vibe.
It's completely different.
Wow.
I mean, I'm sure you obviously still get the drama, but the group that we hung out with was so genuine and they're so nice and so kind. And so there's none of that petty bullshit. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So that was weird to me. I've never seen the pettiness that I've seen since I moved here. And it's really, I don't know how to handle it. I'm like, if you guys want to think I'm a controlling wife, go ahead. I'm not.
Right.
If you want to think that I'm crazy and weird and trying to be undercover, well, no. Mm-hmm. My ex is crazy. Obviously, he lost rights to his kids.
Right.
So, interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it goes, like we were talking before we started recording about Mel Robbins and the let them theory and like,
okay, my favorite theory.
Yes.
Yeah.
You live in this town now. People have this perception of me.
Yeah.
Of like everything that's went down with my divorce. Like, we can either let it consume us, which it did for me for a year and a half, like straight year and a half. I was in a really bad place. Like, we'll talk about that probably too. But like now I'm finally to the point. I mean, I still have work to do. We all have work to do, right? But I'm like, let them think what they want about me. Like, I know who I am as a person.
Do you see them out?
I don't go out anymore.
Okay, yeah.
But I get it, like around town.
Yeah, around town. Do you see
really.
them around town? No. Mm-hmm. No. I mean, it's interesting because I'm sure like they wonder what you're doing because I'm sure they're so consumed by you're so
you shall never know what I'm doing. No, I'm just kidding. But so that was one thing through my divorce is I went in and I cleaned out my Facebook like like 100%, like nope. Kept like a few people, glad I did.
Yeah.
But because then they came around, you know what I mean? But for the most part, it was like, no, you don't have access to me anymore. Like,
nope.
You didn't check on me and make sure that I was okay. Even post-separation, like, or pre-separation, like before he filed, like you didn't, like, there were obvious problems that were very public, and it was like a few people like, hey, are you good? No, I'm actually not good because we fight all the time. Like, so then when he filed and like we separated and I did what I did, like it was like a bad situation. I'm like, are you surprised? Like, are you surprised that I did what I did?
No.
Is anybody? Like, they shouldn't be. If they knew me and him and they knew our marriage, no, absolutely not. Anyway, I don't know like how to like be detailed. Like, obviously I want to tell everything, but it's hard but then again, it's like, why do I care what people think?
You shouldn't, because they obviously didn't care what you thought when they talked shit about you.
Yes.
So if you're listening and you've actually talked shit on either one of us, fuck you. I don't care. We really don't care. We're living our best lives. Like we're both in such good mental health spaces.
Oh my God. I'm dying. But it's true though.
It's true.
But the thing is that this is going to give people who don't like us or don't like, it's interesting, right? Because it's like, it gives them a little bit more ammo. Like, oh, did you hear what Lindsay said on this podcast? Did you hear what Emily said on this podcast? Like, okay. And you're right. Mm-hmm. Again, I have more work to do. Yeah. Because a little bit of me is like, oh God, this is going to be posted. And so all these people are going to be listening. And oh my gosh, this person's going to think it's about them. And, but it's like, whatever.
But it's funny because and Andrew has made comments on the podcast where we make comments of things that we know, certain people. Mm-hmm. And only those people are going to know exactly who we're talking about. So if you get offended, then you have some work to do.
Right.
Maybe you should reflect on your own work.
So maybe a few apologies will come my way. No, I'm just kidding.
Manifest that.
Right.
What's really funny is you mentioned the clean out for Facebook. I cleaned out my Facebook prior election because I got some really nasty messages.
Before the election? Mm-hmm. Really?
Mm-hmm. Well, and then I remember we kind of got into
this is the sheriff's election that you're talking about. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
My name was blasted on Facebook.
Before, like, you knew who was going to run again, or?
I think it was like right before the election when I had posted who I supported.
Okay.
And my name got thrown out there. Mm. And then I was getting messages, and then I was getting like notes in our mailbox, and people were being really shady.
So there were two candidates, right? Mm-hmm. And you knew, so then people knew who you were going to vote for because you posted something?
I walked in the parade because I was trying to be supportive. I was trying to be nice. Right. I got some very hateful
I wonder if you were the only one who got hateful messages.
I don't know.
Because you weren't the only one walking in the parade for that person.
I had to shut my Facebook down for a little bit. And the shitty thing is for anybody who was actually behind that, because I don't know. Mm-hmm.
Have you talked about this on a podcast yet?
I have not.
Okay.
That was 3 days before the termination of my ex-husband and his rights. And so I was already in a bad headspace. Mm-hmm. And I was so I was at my lowest. So if you kick me when I'm low, screw you.
Right.
It was like the most painful thing ever, because I literally remember Andrew walking through the door from work and I was crying because obviously what my ex did to the kids is not okay. But that's a hard thing to go through. Mm-hmm. And so to just shove some more shit on top of me.
Right.
And then, it just was really low.
Like an election for the sheriff.
Is it really that big of a deal? Are you really that important? No.
I just think it's okay, is it a big deal for Webster County? Absolutely. Yes. Is it important to know who our sheriff is? Absolutely. Should I vote? Absolutely.
Are you a celebrity? Absolutely not.
But also, why are we getting mad about whose side is who? Who are you voting for and who? I made a couple comments on a Facebook post. We talked about this because you reached out to me. So I posted a comment on somebody who was not as popular as the other person who did not win the sheriff's election, whatever.
Yes.
And all I said was an opinion, right? I see from being an ex-wife to a detective for Webster County, I see the other side of it now, especially now that I'm not in that family anymore. I'm like, oh my God, they act like they walk on water sometimes. depending on who it is, right? There's good cops, there's bad cops. I'm not saying everybody who's friends with my ex-husband's a bad person. I'm not saying my ex-husband's a bad person.
Right.
But I am saying that I have seen really shady shit. And I have seen people, I don't know.
Can't name drop on
right,
here, but
right.
You know,
I've seen
people
in law enforcement get away with things that they should not have gotten away with. I got in trouble for drinking and driving. Like, everybody knows that, right? A year ago, got pulled over, got an OWI. I've learned from it. I'm like a completely different person than I was 1 year ago.
Yeah.
Like, I truly thought that was going to kill me. I honestly thought my life was ruined. Like, I made a mistake. I learned from it. I changed again. Lost a ton of weight. Started working out. I'm actually sober now. I don't drink at all.
I love that for you.
I love it for me too.
Yeah.
But like, I had to do everything, right? Like, I was in trouble. I was swerving all over the road. I did all the things that a citizen should have done. I know for sure one example where a person hit something in a road and did not have to do anything, called another police officer and said, "What do I do? I'm nervous."
Oh my gosh.
A police officer called another police officer and said,
"Yeah.
Oh my God, I just hit the pole in the road. What do I do?" Have we talked about this before?
We have. And I know exactly what you're talking about. And I think it's really funny because, so I talk about, and I have not released this episode. I don't know when it's coming out. I talk about accountability, and I make comments how when you are in a position of power, or when you're in a position in the community and you don't take that accountability, which can all be tied back. I don't necessarily all agree with, but it's, you have to, but you have to take that accountability. You're held to the same standard.
Oh no. What do I do? I just hit this pole and I've been drinking and it's 3:00 in the morning. Oh, you go home and you chug a beer. Okay, what about like the citizen who can't just call up a police officer and say, "Hey, what do I do?" You chug a beer, because then when you have to do the sobriety test, which, by the way, this police officer did not have to do the sobriety test.
Wow.
Yeah. Hit a pole, like a maintenance, like a, I don't know, whatever the
electrical poles?
Yes.
Yeah.
Totaled
but
the
then
truck.
We wondered why.
Right.
There's so much, bad seed. Like, one bad seed ruins it for everybody.
Right. Totaled the truck, totaled the pole, had to pay for the pole, had to pay for the, obviously truck, And I'm like, what? Got a texting and driving ticket, 3 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Everybody knew it. Everybody knew it.
I did not until you told me that.
Really?
So it did not.
That's the thing. They kept it hush hush.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we all make mistakes, but at the same time, I did my time. Literally,
yeah.
did
your time.
Did my time.
Yeah.
Did all the things that a normal person would have done. And I say normal just because, not privileged, right?
Right. Correct.
Did all the things. It was traumatic. And that's why it's made me into such a different person.
There's no integrity.
Right.
There's none.
Right.
Not with every officer.
And everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the police officer who pulled up to that scene should have been like, whoa, let's do a sobriety test, just like any other citizen would have done.
Bingo. And
then you wonder why everyone not everyone, a lot of people don't like police officers or people in law enforcement, because that's the stuff that happens.
Correct. 1,000%.
And it was a running joke at first, but then once I divorced, got out of that whole thing, I'm like, oh my God, that's actually really crappy.
Did you see it more clear, clarity and clearly after you left?
Yeah. I mean, a lot. Yeah.
Was it an eye-opening experience?
Yeah. And I knew that situation was so severe. I mean, obviously people in law enforcement, cops aren't hitting poles every day.
Right.
That happened one time. Do I think a lot of cops drink and drive? Absolutely.
Oh, 100%.
Have I seen cops drink out of a cup, a Yeti cup, which most likely is beer?
1,000%.
Absolutely. Do police officers walk around town with beer in their hand on Halloween night? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And not just in Fort Dodge.
Right.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yep.
And not just, and not just police officers. There's people all the time who drink and drive. There's
judges,
people all the time.
attorneys.
Right.
Yeah.
People who, teachers.
There's
people, there's people all the time who make bad choices and bad decisions. But when I was in it, I was like, oh, this is normal, even though I didn't grow up that way. My parents don't drink.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay,
I thought, okay, well, if cops drink and drive and they're dropping off their kid at baseball practice and they have a Yeti of beer in their car, oh, that's just normal then, right?
Why is that normal?
I thought it was.
Why do you think it's normalized?
It's definitely not.
In that community.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
In that community?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is it because they think they have a lot of power? I don't know.
That was my only guess because I mean my husband does not. So I don't we're
Mm,
not in that
hmm.
same clique.
I
But
think in society in general, drinking is being it's
oh
very
yeah.
normalized.
Yeah,
It's normal.
absolutely.
Like you go out to the bar, you get drunk, you do whatever. I think that's a problem in society, but I think that when you're drinking from bar to bar, or like you go home from the bar and you shouldn't be driving,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you have kids with a babysitter at home, I feel like who's gonna, like, I think maybe the mindset, the questions that they have is like, oh, who's gonna pull me over? My coworker?
Yeah. No,
Oh,
I
well,
100% agree with that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, am I above the legal limit? Probably, but am I still gonna drive home? Yes, because my friend's gonna be the one pulling me over. Or I can say, hey, I'm gonna be driving home. Watch out for me.
Yeah.
It's like that. They have each other's
It's
back.
like a buddy system type of thing where
Right.
it's like but that's the thing is it's not genuine
And
and
I
it
think
makes
it,
you look like
right. And again,
low.
it's not the whole force.
No,
It's not
but
everyone.
one bad like one wrong move or one bad person or not bad person but bad choice for a person kind of just ruins it for everybody.
Mhm.
And that just it follows. So, it's interesting.
Ah,
I mean, it's weird because I used to want so badly to be part of a group
mhm, mhm.
and now I'm just like I don't want to.
No, look at how fast they all like dropped me like it was nothing.
Mm-hmm. Which
And
is
they were my
pathetic.
people.
Yeah.
Like like I said, every weekend. Like every we'd be in group chats, we would go do everything together. Like there were trips that we went on, there were concerts that we went to, like,
I remember seeing your posts where you guys went on trips and stuff, and I
oh
was
my
like,
god, it was fun.
oh,
I
yeah,
would be lying if I said it wasn't fun. Did I love having girlfriends? Absolutely. Did they drop me
yeah.
like it was nothing? Absolutely.
When they dropped you, were they mean to you, or like did they like just drop you and not contact you anymore?
Yeah, so when I knew the divorce was over, I texted in the group chat
Mm-hmm.
and I said, "Hey, like, just so you know, we're not going to be together anymore. Like, I messed up, basically.
Yeah.
Like, I messed up. We're going to get divorced. Like, I can't even remember exactly what I said, but basically something along the lines of like, hope we can still be friends. Like, hopefully, like nothing really changes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I knew then it would change. And then I got some text back. There was one person specifically who did not text back at all. And I have not heard from her
Oh,
since then. And we would go to her house
okay.
every
Oh,
weekend.
okay. Yeah.
And so I'm like, funny how you opened up your door to me, know my kids, like knew everything about me. We were best friends. Like,
Still know your kids? Like, still hang out with your kids?
I don't know if they go over there. I don't think they go over there as much as when we were married. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, this person, like, she did my hair at my wedding. Like,
Oh, wow.
there were,
Okay.
like, you know what I mean? There were just
Yeah.
like a lot of things that were very like personal. I loved her. But then I'm like, oh my God, you never even texted me back. Like, nothing. I didn't hear
Which
one word
is
from
really
you.
sad.
Right.
Yeah.
Take your husband's side for whatever reason, like cops versus non-cops. I don't know. But
Yeah.
it's like, so yeah. So I sent out that mass text, and then everyone but her replied, and there was like 4 or 5 girls in the text. And then yeah, just ever since then, not really. No.
Nothing.
Mm-mm. Which I'm so much happier, like I said, like it's okay, but that was hard. Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you this. Did I ever tell you this part? A couple weeks after that, maybe a month later, it would have been maybe in October.
I
They
know
all
what
went on a
yep.
group, they all went
Yes.
on a girls trip, and I should have been there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I get a Snapchat of, it's like this high school immaturity thing again.
Yep.
I get a Snapchat and they're all sitting at like a table drinking. Weird. They're at like a bar, and the person who sent it like showed everybody, like all the girls who were at the table, they all were like cheersing the camera, and then she flipped it around on her, and then she flipped me off or waved at me. I feel like flipped me off because I was like, oh my God, what just happened? Then I replayed it, and you get a notification, right, if you replay it. So I'm on Snapchat and I'm replaying it, and mind you, I'm in my parents' bedroom or parents' basement in their spare bedroom. I am severely depressed. Like, this was a month after he filed that we're separated. Like, I get my kids half the time. I'm in bed. Like, actually, I might have even been crying as I'm opening it because I'm so depressed.
Right.
Depressed. I'm under the covers in a dark basement, lights off. Like, it's a Saturday
Which,
night.
if you haven't been through that, you don't understand it because
No.
I was there too.
Yeah.
And it's the worst, loneliest feeling.
Right. So I get it. So I get a video of all these girls, and they're having so much fun. I'm like, that freaking sucks because I should be there. Right.
Yeah.
either she waves at me or flips me off, and then I replay it. Then I'm like, you know what? Whatever. I screenshot it. And I screenshot it like 5 times. It's a video, so I can't like, I don't know why I didn't think to like screen record it so I'd have a whole video of it, whatever. And then by that time, if I wasn't crying before because of depression, I was crying then because I was like, oh my God, I should be there. Those were my friends. Like keyword were what? Like they were my friends. And then I'm like, my heart's racing, right? I'm like, oh my God, what do I do next? Because at that point, for some reason, I still had them on Snapchat. And so the person who sent it to me obviously was not a friend. And I'm like bawling. Then I got a message back from her that said, LOL, they didn't even know that I took that video. Because then I think she was panicking because she's like, oh my God, Emily has proof now that I just sent that.
Oh shit.
But then I also think, I know this actually, one of the girls later on said, hey, we didn't even know that that was being taken until she said, haha, I'm sending it to Emily because blah, 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 right? Like just literally intentionally trying to make me upset. So then I'm like, I'm bawling. She's like, LOL, they didn't even know that I sent it. I'm like, I don't even think I replied because I was so upset. And then I like 15, 20 minutes go by and I just start getting all these text messages from all of them. And they're like, we are so sorry. We're all crying. We sent her home because she is drunk and rude and being very disrespectful. They were like in Des Moines. Took her back to her mom and dad. So they're all like in a car together. Mm-hmm. And they're all crying, I guess, in a car. And they're like, I can't believe she did that. That is pure evil. They kept telling me, like, we're so sorry. The person who did not reach out to me when we originally got divorced didn't message me, and she was on that trip. So, like, there's, like, a common theme here. Yeah, like, I don't think I'll ever hear from her again, which, whatever. Like, I don't need you.
That's right? Not a loss.
Right. Yeah. But I'm like, I'm just putting that connection together now. Like, oh, my God, I didn't hear from her either. Yeah. All the other girls messaged me, and they're like, we're crying. We're really upset. We're so sorry.
So she was probably not crying.
Oh, or again, is she being fake? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Weird.
Well, when you have a fake personality like that, it's kind of
100% fake. Yeah. And again, everything's like based around her husband. She can have that life, whatever.
Yeah.
But just know that like anybody who's friends with her now, you're probably not her friend because she'll drop you like it's nothing. Well, she's done it to me and our other friend, you know?
Yeah, she has. Yeah.
So that happened. And then I guess that's pretty much everything since. That was really bad. I remember after that happened, like I did message those girls back. I was like, it's okay. Thanks for reaching out. Like, you know, whatever. Yeah. I like texted, I think I called my mom and she's upstairs, right? Like, and I'm like, Mom, this just happened. I go upstairs. I'm bawling. I can't breathe. I'm crying so hard. And I'm like, she's literally rubbing my back. And I'm like, I think I'm going to cry right now. I was like, I just don't see it ever getting better. Like, I was like, I want him back. I want my life back. I want my friends back. And she's like, those aren't your friends. Look what they just did to you. And I'm like, I know. You don't want him back. Look what he did to you. You're right. Like, and I just, but again, I was underneath the covers in my parents' basement when I didn't have my kids for a solid year and a half. Like, or I was either drunk or in bed. I tell people, like, literally.
I get that. Yeah.
For a solid year and a half.
Yeah.
Got my OW and I was like, I'm done. I got to change my life.
Well, I mean, screw them.
Could you imagine?
Beyond anything, screw them.
They're in their 30s.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure I know which one you were talking about sent it. And she's the same one who started a really nasty rumor involving my children. And I literally, I literally almost threw down at one point because I'm not physically, like, I'm not like crazy psycho like that.
I am. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I mean, I broke a girl's nose once, which,
oh my God.
Side story. When I was pregnant with my first kiddo, I was in Waterloo at a bar. And I walked through and she wouldn't let me go to the bathroom. And I was pregnant. Obviously, I was 5 months pregnant. So you could tell a little bit. Yeah. And she followed me to the bathroom and was like, why'd you bump into me? And I'm like, I have to pee. She went to go swing at me. So I swung as hard as I could. I busted her jaw and her nose and broke it. And then the cops came. So I took off and I ran. So
the cops. One day I'm running from the cops. The next I'm married to one.
Yes, exactly. And so I just admitted a crime on here. It's fine.
Right.
And they never found me. I just implicated myself. It's fine.
Andrew, are you listening? You're married to a criminal.
Yeah, I am. So,
okay. Anyway, so the same person
started some really nasty shit, and I my husband went to his superiors at that time, and I just remember him yelling and being very upset because this rumor had gotten around and it was not true.
Right.
And it involved my children in a very vulnerable state with their ex, like their sperm donor, whatever.
Yeah.
And that bitch, I don't even care, had the audacity to go and twist something knowing what actually happened and twisting it to something completely different.
Did you ever confront her?
No.
Do you think you ever will?
Maybe.
But then it's like, why give them the energy?
She doesn't deserve my energy. She doesn't deserve my attention. But she's really nice to my husband. So you think I don't see that? I do.
Right.
But
right.
Yeah, you're not a good person. No.
And you know who you are. No, I'm
exactly.
just kidding. I'm kidding, but I'm not.
but you're really not. You know what you did. No, it's really shitty because it's like, why can't you just be a nice person?
Mm-hmm.
Especially like when you want to be so recognized as like this, you know, LEO wife.
Oh, for sure.
You're really nothing special when you act like that. Like, not saying like, I'm not saying anything like I'm better than anybody, but like at least I conduct myself in a.
And at least you can lay your head at night on your pillow, go to sleep, knowing that like you're a genuine, authentic person and you're not like.
I have tried to be so genuine, but nobody wants it.
I think you even just doing this podcast is so brave.
Thank you.
Like, you're welcome. Like I said right before you got here, I was like, okay, I need to figure out who are her listeners. Yeah. Who's going to listen to me talk? Who's going to listen to me say? It's kind of like therapy in a way. But then I'm like,
that's what Andrew said earlier.
Yeah, it is therapy. I'm like literally just chatting with a therapist, I feel.
Thanks.
But I feel like, but then why? Why would I care so much about that? Like, you're just so brave even for starting this, and then just knowing that like you're giving yourself.
And I hesitated actually starting it because I was worried about the receiving part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I even debated like, should we talk about this kind of stuff? Because, you know, it could get back. But you know what's really funny is I started thinking about it because I took a shower before I got here. And I was in the shower and I said, you know, they can do whatever they want. They can act however they want and talk all the shit that they want. But the second that we stand up for ourselves and speak our truth and be like, just be completely transparent, then that's wrong.
Right.
It should actually be the opposite.
Right.
So I don't give a fuck.
I know.
I just don't care.
And it's interesting too, because there was like so I had the friend group that I was talking about, like that sent the Snapchat that I had to say, hey, like we're on the verge of a divorce. Like,
yeah.
There were other people in my neighborhood that I lived with, right? Like so there were 4 of us.
Yeah.
It was called the Cop Corner. Do you know the Cop
yes,
Corner?
Yes, I know the Cop Corner. I spent a lot of time on the corner.
Really?
I did, in the house on the corner. Mm-hmm. They moved.
To Minnesota?
No. Down the street.
One family moved to Minnesota. Yep. One family got divorced. The other 2, it was like keeping up with the Joneses, right? Like, oh, one person's going to sell their house. We're going to sell their house. We're going to sell our house. We're going to get a bigger house. I can get a bigger house than you. I can get a bigger house than you. It was like one of those things. Obviously, you can
get a bigger house, but you're still going to have the same fucked up problems.
Yes.
And you're still going to be shitty people.
Those people would talk mad crap about each other.
Oh, yeah.
All the time. Guess who hangs out all the time now?
Same
people who didn't like each other then. You can't, like, and that's the thing too, like, you guys can have each other. You did not like each other when you lived next door to each other. And
no, because I was there for some of that too.
Oh, the second they would go back to their house, they would shut their garage door and talk about them.
It could have been a reality show.
Literally.
Like, with no fake.
That's the thing is, like, now they carpool and they help each other with rides. And I'm like, excuse me? You did not like, you made it very known that you did not like each other.
Very known. Yep.
And maybe the other family didn't know how much the other family didn't like them, but it's like, now you're friends. They're invited to birthday parties. You guys spend New Year's Eve together. Like, you can have that.
Which I actually deleted somebody who's not even part of the Cop family off my Snapchat because they hang out with those people.
Yes.
And I was like, red flag.
Right.
No, thank you. Because she was asking me all these personal questions about me and Andrew. And I was like, what are you trying to get at?
Right.
No.
Right.
No, you don't get to.
Because it's not like genuine.
No.
You know?
No, not at all.
Ugh.
And I've seen a couple of those people in stores and stuff. And Like they'll kind of stare at me, and I'm just a couple times I flipped them off. So sorry, not sorry. I don't care.
I know. Sometimes I'm like, I have like a little bit of anxiety too, like
Yeah.
going into places, or if I see a car, I'm like, ah.
After the election stuff, I really was in a low place. I didn't want to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And Andrew, bless his heart, brought me ninja sushi for like 3 days in a row because I could not even get off the couch. That is how much, like, if you're listening and you were part of all that thing, that is how much you guys like really, you just knocked me down when I was already knocked down.
Right.
Like, same with you.
Right.
They've knocked us down when we've already been at our lowest. So what does that say about you?
Mm-hmm.
You're a low person.
Not nice.
I call them dumpster humans. So
Well, it's funny, not funny, but just recently you got a message that said,
I did.
on Facebook.
I did.
Hey girl, weren't we friends with each other on Facebook?
A year ago. Funny.
Atlanta.
And that's somebody who I was never friends with.
Right. So why does she care so much? Like, why do you care so much? Again, are we like...
Maybe they're bored.
Maybe. Or want the drama.
They just like us and they admire us so much that we're just so important that we cross their minds. I mean, that's
randomly messaging you on Facebook. And I deleted the same person.
Yeah.
And she never once reached out to me. I've actually known her longer than you have, like since high school.
She's oh really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I delete nothing, but you delete, and it's like this big deal.
And that was a couple times with a couple different people too. Why'd you delete me? You're just now noticing that after how long?
Right.
And there was a person who was associated with that same group, maybe not as much, but she went around spreading a whole bunch of gossip and being super, super friendly to my husband, but then would not speak to me. And so, my husband and I, we have this like thing where like he's respectful to me, I'm respectful to him. Like, why would he talk to you if you're going to be rude to his wife?
I love that.
Yeah.
Because that is something that I never got.
Oh, really?
Oh, 100%.
Why? I don't understand that.
I mean, I think in the moment during our marriage, like he would.
Yeah.
Post marriage, like post divorce, whatever. Absolutely not. Talking to like the people that he knows, like that's a big no. Like
that's
really family members that I don't talk to anymore. Like told like she's at rock bottom. She's off her rocker is literally what he told. Like
that's low.
I have adopted like siblings. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, no, like this person that you are telling her that I am off my rocker, like I did all these bad things, blah, 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 blah. Like on the day after our wedding, messaged me and was like, whoa, girl, like you're so big. Like you might have to go see a doctor if you want to try having babies. Like you blew up. What happened?
Wow.
And he knew this and how like devastated I was after that.
Yeah. He
went and told this same person after separating from me, like Emily's crazy.
That's messed up. Well, and I think, did you hear... So I'm going back to that whole like comment about the body image stuff, because we'll get to that topic too. But did you ever hear that rumor that I was, and I was all that stuff? Because that was a rumor, is from somebody that is associated with somebody That was a rumor, and they were like, oh, like you got a boob job, and like you're doing this, and it's like, no.
Who cares if you did? Honestly.
I mean, really?
Does it affect their life? No.
No. Do you want to see them? Is that why?
Oh my God. I just don't get it.
And we're not even gossiping. We're just talking honest truth. So,
right.
People who get upset by this is just, go ahead and talk. Let them. I don't care. It's interesting. And so with the body image stuff.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Like, obviously, you look really good now. You look healthy.
Girl.
You're glowing.
Okay, so I am down 30 pounds now, 35 pounds. I have more to lose, I feel.
How do you feel, like, mentally?
Amazing.
Yeah.
And, like, so I posted this I've been posting on Facebook, right? Like, changes. Like, first I started seeing it in my face.
I love that.
My face got so much smaller, which I'm like, okay, good. But again, it's mentally, I'm in such a better place.
Yeah.
That's ultimately what I did it for. I didn't start working out and doing all the things just to like be better looking. Obviously that's like, or like my body getting
Yeah,
thinner.
it's not like a revenge body.
It was my mental state. Like
Yeah.
I was like, I can't be laying in bed. I can't be missing work anymore.
Yeah.
Like I missed so much work the first year following after like post divorce that I'm like, I'm gonna lose my job. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't get out of
That's
bed.
hard.
I was literally so depressed. Medications were a factor, right? Like gaining weight because I was taking antidepressants, and then first I was on anxiety meds. I was having suicidal thoughts. Like it's so serious. And I'm like, okay. Then my therapist was like, you need a depressant, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh my God, like, okay. Well, then those started making me, it's weird how medications work, but then I was drinking on them too.
Okay.
And so then I was overall a hot mess.
Yeah.
Like, then I would be hungover, or like when I didn't have my kids, I couldn't get out of bed. I was like, there's no point. Like, I don't even have my kids full time. Like, what's the point of living? I mean, it sounds really dramatic, but people go through it and it's so serious. Like, suicidal thoughts are no joke.
100%.
Like, I never knew that they were like a real thing. I mean, I believed people when they were like, I'm having suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
You go to the doctor for a checkup. Are you having suicidal thoughts? Every year it was like, no, I'm good. Like, you know.
Yeah.
It was scary when my therapist was like asking me the mental health questionnaire, and then she's like, are you having suicidal thoughts? Yep. And she looked at me and she's like, let's change that. I'm like, I'm just being honest with you. Like,
yeah,
it was like it was so scary.
That's really scary.
So scary.
I actually went through that. My husband did not know about this until a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
I've never talked about this with anybody.
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm ever talking about this.
So if you're listening, be grateful.
Yes. I had probably bleep her name out because I don't know if he wants it on there, but it's good.
Mm-hmm.
I had her, and I had postpartum depression,
mm-hmm.
really bad,
mm-hmm.
to the point where it was like, what is that? Like the psychosis, almost to the psychosis.
Okay.
I literally got to the point one night where I had taken a knife out and I was like, I was done. I was ready to slit my wrist.
God, Lindsay.
And he was at work and I was screaming and I locked myself in the bathroom and I just cried.
Uh-huh.
And I was scared to tell him. I was scared to tell anybody about the postpartum because I was also dealing with my ex-husband and all that drama and that bullshit that we went through.
Yeah.
And I knew something was wrong with like the kids.
Mm-hmm.
It started like gradually happening, but I was ready to like die. I didn't want to be there anymore.
Right.
I went to the doctor, balanced out my hormones, got on medication, got out of it.
Right.
And I was so toxic. Looking back now, I picked fights with him all the time. I was so depressed. Didn't want to get out of bed. And I just told him all of this like a year ago. I just told him that I was on medication. I just told him that I balanced my hormones out.
Right.
But I was in such a low place. And then when we moved up here, we had this big party at our house for like the birthday party for my kid. And like, I think most of the police department came, to be honest. And a couple of county attorneys and stuff came too. And so, I was like, oh, this like, it's a high. I'm feeling like I'm part of a group and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when one person who's kind of like the lead mean girl of a different group.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
She
For those of you who are not here, which is everybody.
Yes.
Lindsay just like whispered mouthed her name.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
So I'm like,
oh
yep, I know.
I'm gonna have to like make sure I didn't say it.
I don't
think I did.
No.
She dropped me because of some delusion she had.
Because at one point you guys were friends.
We were best friends. That's
who you were with the night at Shiny Top.
Yes. Oh, okay. Okay, I know exactly now. Yep. Now that you said that, yes.
We were taking a neighbor picture, and then you walked up, and you're like, hey.
Oh.
The cop corner picture.
Sorry. Oh, well, she is part of that cop corner. So, yes. Okay.
Yes.
It makes sense.
Okay, anyway.
She accused me of some really mean things that were completely untrue. I ended up kind of like maybe slapping her a little bit.
Oh, you did tell me this.
Meh. As soon as that happened, everybody dropped us. And I was like, huh, interesting. There was a couple that did not, but because they're genuinely, I feel like they're nice. But I was like, huh, interesting. So I fell into a whole depression. Whole depression.
Right.
And I could not get out of it.
Right.
And I literally almost died. I was ready to go. I was done. I drove around one night and I told my husband, I said, you're going to have to find me because
Uh,
I just didn't know any other way out.
right.
But then I kind of started like turn my life around with like diet and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And right now I had a surgery a couple years ago for like removing like tissue and stuff. And I have a lot of inflammation in my body.
Yeah.
And I'm just now kind of getting out of that fight or flight
For sure.
from all the shit that I went through. But yeah.
Okay, so don't answer this if you don't want to.
Okay.
Are you on medications now?
No. I take raw beef organ supplements.
Okay.
For like female health, I guess.
Yeah.
Magnesium. Magnesium has saved my life.
Really?
Yes. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't dislike medication, but I think for me, I think watching my ex go through the opioid addiction and watching all the things that he took, it really just put like I don't know how to explain it.
Like a negative. Yeah.
It made me scared to take anything.
Right.
Because I was taking something after we got divorced and I was drinking. So we just talked about that.
Yeah.
And you're not supposed to drink with alcohol with antidepressants.
Oh, for sure.
And
that's why I was even more depressed.
Yeah. And I got roofied on top of it. And I ended up passing out in my bathtub for I don't know how many hours. And
were you out with Andrew when that happened?
No, I was not even with him. I was single.
Oh, okay.
And the kids were with their dad at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. Because I took a couple. I took more than what I should. And then I went out drinking. And I was like, I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine. Well, I got roofied. And I came home and I don't remember even getting home. I don't remember getting in the bathtub. I woke up in freezing cold water. And I was like, literally like, I can't live like this anymore.
Oh my God, yeah.
And I turned to the gym, to like healthy, stuff. And that was when I was like, I have to do something. So I've never shared that before.
Wait, we're like kind of similar.
We are. Because I feel like we're like, our paths are like on the same wavelength, frequency.
I know.
I feel like we have the same energy.
Heck yeah.
You guys probably think I'm crazy and weird.
She is. No, I'm just kidding.
No. No. And obviously I'm not going to tell this on the podcast, but like, I just told you a story about how like I kind of predicted something and I can read energy really well. So
yeah,
I can see right through it.
And you said my energy is like happy.
Your energy is super bright and happy.
A year ago, it would not have been.
Yeah.
It would have been black.
Maybe like, I was going to say brown, but that'd be weird. Like really dark.
Just, super dark. Yeah. And like, again, depression, like alcohol, so like I said, like I'm down 35 pounds.
Yeah.
I also like the biggest thing that's helped me mentally is no alcohol. Like I knew it was poison, but like I am so clear-headed now. Like I just went to Mexico, all-inclusive trip. Yeah. Alcohol was everywhere in front of us, right? My friend Jesse and I, not one sip of alcohol.
Did you feel tempted?
Okay, so it's so funny you say that because I did.
Yeah.
Like this isn't funny when you're sober, but like we get there 3-4 o'clock at night, afternoon. We get to the hotel, we get up to our room. It's been a long day of traveling, right? Yeah. We have a beautiful room, like it's oceanfront.
I saw the pictures. It
was amazing. So I've never been to Mexico, so I was like,
either,
this is amazing.
Yeah.
Look down, people are partying in the pool, right? They're in the swim up bar. I'm like, oh my God, I really want to drink. Yeah. And I look at Jessie and I'm like, I'm really triggered right now. She's like, nope, we're not going down there then. I was like, no, I'm telling you. So I think it's helping me. It's like therapy. She's actually a therapist. So it was like the best. She's the best friend ever. But so I was like, no, like I'm really triggered right now. Like, let's get our suits on though. Let's take some cool pictures. Let's go down. Let's go down there. We'll get like mocktails, whatever. We'll get smoothies. We go down there and I'm like, I'm still really triggered. I really want to drink. I see the ocean. It's beautiful. I'm in an exotic country. Yeah. People are partying. It was like spring break for like college kids, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, whatever. And I'm like, but I'm not going to do it though. Because if my thinking before I even went down there to Mexico was like, okay, I can't have a couple drinks down there because if I do, I'll be like, oh, I did it in Mexico. I'll be fine. When I come back to Fort Dodge, I'll be fine. I'll go out to the bar. I can have a couple. I don't have a problem. And I'm like, I can't do that. Like, I can't break my sobriety. I honestly don't think I'll ever drink again. And when I tell people that, they're like, that's a really bold statement. Like, ever again? Yeah. No. You can have one maybe like later down the road. No, I don't think I can. And I think it's such a turnoff for me because I was so depressed. And alcohol was one reason for that. Yeah.
That's really, oh my God, I think that's incredible though.
But it's hard to even say though.
It's hard
like
to say. Yeah.
when people go to AA, I don't do that. But like when people go to AA and they're like, yeah, you get like a sober chip. Like my mom always says like, oh, you should go meet somebody. Like maybe you'll meet somebody, the man of your dreams at AA. And I'm like, I don't know. First of all, I don't want a man right now, really.
Right.
Need a man.
Would you date somebody who drinks? Or is that going to be a turn off quality?
I think about that all the time too. If it's like,
like not every day.
No way. Yes. Because I married that, right?
Right.
I married somebody who every day after work would have at least 3-4 beers.
And I feel like that's an actual like, which is funny. I just thought about this. It's a coping mechanism. It's like normalized for them. Mm-hmm. Oh, you know, like we had a really hard shift. We had to deal with all these.
I'm gonna buy a case because I had a hard day.
Yeah, but like even like when they get together, the only common really interest besides the job that they have is drinking.
Busch Light. Mm-hmm. Cans of Busch Light.
It's like,
I know.
No.
I know. Yeah, I don't think I could be with somebody who drinks every night. Definitely not, because I did that and it was horrible. Yeah. Like, okay, didn't get drunk every night, fine, but like you should not be opening up a beer every single night when there's little kids running around. Yeah, like, I'm not for that anymore.
That impairs your judgment.
Yes,
a lot.
I don't have a problem. I just have a few. I don't get drunk every night. Okay, but you're still drinking every night. Like,
so we went to one of the bars recently here. My husband and I went to a date night. The same bar that we actually saw at.
Shine it up.
And I was like, I'm not going to drink. Yeah, and then I felt pressure to do it. Mm-hmm. I felt like shit. When I got home, I was like, oh, I can't. And I broke my little streak that I had going. And then I down, like, I kind of like get down on myself because I'm like, oh, shit, I lost that self-control for 1 minute.
Right.
But I mean, I want to be sober because I do feel like the mental clarity is so much better. Mm-hmm. And I feel better physically.
Oh, for sure.
I want to start running again.
Is it relaxing? Do I miss having like a glass of wine a night?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But like, or during the night.
It's a temporary fix.
Right.
It's not going to fix. Your problems are still going to be there. I said this on another podcast episode. Your problems are still going to be there when your hangover's gone. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to keep that mindset.
Right. For sure.
And
I don't judge anybody for drinking.
No,
I just know it's not for me.
Same.
And I don't want to be with somebody who drinks every single night.
Which is funny because I think sobriety is becoming more normal or becoming more talked about. And I like that because I like seeing people like, oh, I don't know if I've ever really seen like or hung out with you sober. And oh, that's really nice to hang out with you and get to know you without alcohol influencing your personality.
For sure. Yeah.
Because even like when I drank a lot, my husband and I would get in arguments because I would go way back to like my ex-husband and I would get so triggered and I was like, holy shit, like this is bringing out really bad qualities in me as a person.
Like when you were drinking. So would Andrew get upset with you when you were drinking?
No, not really upset. It was more of like concerned, but like I was like I'm not a mean drunk, but I'm very like
I am
aggressive.
I'm really mean.
I can be a bitch. I think. Gosh, I was gonna say, have we seen each other drunk?
I don't. Maybe Shiny Shop that first night.
Yeah, and I saw you at another bar when I was with
Salty Sue's.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
When I was with somebody else.
I was not drunk that night, but I was drinking.
Yeah, I was.
You were.
And
what?
I felt like shit.
You were drunk. Really.
But not drunk enough to like take a picture of anybody and send it to anybody. So
drama.
Oh my God. But I was not drunk enough to notice that somebody that, works alongside my husband came up and took a bite of my food and then put it back on my plate.
Ew.
And I was like, no, thanks.
Right.
I don't even like you. Get away from me.
Right.
That was weird. I was like, oh, I don't know what you have.
Right. Seriously.
Seriously. But yeah, no, I'm an aggressive drunk.
Really?
I not like I'm not gonna stab you or something like, but I'm like in your face, like you wanna mess with me? Well, fuck you. Right. I'm gonna throw some shit back in your face. Like I would. So a lot of people. So I don't know why people feel. Maybe you can answer this actually, because so my friend, who dates one of Andrew's best friends,
okay,
who he works with.
So cops.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been friends with her for a while.
Okay.
And She is very, I admire her so much. She's like one of the realest people I've ever
Wait,
met.
can you tell me this? We'll bleep it out.
Yeah. Okay, so her name is,
Okay,
and
got that out of the way.
Yes. She is one of the realest people I've ever met.
Okay.
She's like, people like you because you keep it real.
Yeah.
And you're genuine. And when you know something, you don't go around and like talk shit about it. You'll say the truth.
Right.
And you'll call people on their bullshit, but you're not going to be like,
right.
Oh my gosh, did you know that this person told me this or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm drinking, I tend to word vomit. And it's not nice word vomit. It's like,
yeah, this
bitch fucking husband and she's with him right now at the bar.
Right. Yeah.
Mostly. I think you know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't. Bleep it out.
Okay. So I actually watched you on Snapchat at one point because I followed you. Not watched you. That sounds really creepy.
Mwahaha.
Stalkerish. No, I followed you on Snapchat. And that's when I had these other girls in your group on my Snapchat as friends.
Yeah.
What's really funny, though, is I started thinking, the whole Snapchat thing, they were always the first. There was one who has not talked to you, the one that has never talked to you. Mm-hmm. She was always the first one to look at my story. So I think that like she had like notifications turned on or something. But she never has spoken to me, ever. I've never talked to her once.
Do you ever Insta now?
No.
Really?
I deleted them all.
Yeah, for sure.
Like blocked them.
It's so cleansing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were all on my Snapchat at one point. And I was like, okay. Figure they would maybe say something. But they watched it very close. Especially when I would post things of like me and Andrew.
Right.
Which is weird. How are you watching my stuff?
Literally.
Do you feel like people who don't like us watch our stuff the most or watch our lives the most? Like, do you think they're looking, what do you think they're, like, what's the purpose of that?
I don't know.
Are they looking for us to, like, fuck up somehow to where they can use it
maybe
to their advantage?
It's interesting because, like, I deleted people. Like, that was one of the first things I did when we were separated. And so I don't really know if I got, like, that vibe from women. Men, sometimes I've been in like situationships that have like short term ended. I still had them on Snap. Like, homeboy, you said you didn't like me. Why are you the first person to look at my stories?
Weird. Or
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get it. Like, so like females know because I made sure they were gone right away.
Yeah.
Males, I'm like, okay, liked you liked me, now we don't like each other, and you're still the first person to see all my stuff.
Yeah.
That, so I get like in a different
way.
Yeah.
Well, no guys are on my stuff. Well, a couple of them, but I don't think anybody would cross Andrew.
Oh, for sure.
I feel like
me, there's nobody to cross. So it's like, it's just me.
It's a free-for-all.
Exactly.
No, that sounded really bad.
No.
It's not a free-for-all.
No, maybe bleep that out. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I get what you mean. But it's so true. And like, I always think about like dating, like, and I'm like, okay, I tell people I'm not ready. I tell people I'm ready. I don't know. I think I just need to make up my mind. I easily could be in a relationship right now.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be in a relationship with the wrong person. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that again.
So Andrew and he was my first relationship after my divorce. I waited a little over a year because I was the same way. I was like, no, I'm not looking for anything. I don't want anything.
Right.
And I actually was just going to use him and lose him. Like, I was like, no thanks.
Right.
And it turned into this, like, I was like, wow, we really connected. And it was like really genuine. And I mean, I've had kind of like a little fling on the side after, but it was like, no, I knew that was not going to work. But it's funny because he was my first, and I promised myself, I said, I am not going to date someone. The next person I date, I'm marrying.
Yeah.
And I kept that promise to myself.
Aww.
But he really took on the kids. There was a time when my daughter stopped breathing in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And he was working in a different town. And he drove down after shift.
Like he was a cop.
He was a cop there.
Okay.
And he drove down as fast as he could to get to me to help. So my dad and I had to drive my daughter to the emergency room back in my hometown. And it was like 10 minutes. And My dad was driving and I was giving my daughter CPR
Oh my God.
on the way to the hospital.
Oh my God.
It was terrifying. So we really don't know what happened. She like aspirated on something and she got really sick. She had to be taken to University of Iowa at one point for something different. But like it was terrifying. She was blue. Like my mom instinct was like, oh my God. But Andrew, it was like 4 months into dating. He drove down, dropped everything and drove down to be there. And that's how I knew he was the one.
Right.
Because my ex-husband, her biological father, never even responded to my text. Never. He never addressed it.
So you're like, this amazing man is willing to go above and beyond for my kids.
Who he had only met them one time prior. Because I was really hesitant to introduce them because I was like, okay, I'm not going to have their hearts broken.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, he was like, nope, I got this. And he stayed with me and he was there for me. He helped me sleep. And he took care of her while I slept because I could not sleep at all. I was like watching her breathe because I was terrified. And he went to university. Well, he helped with the University of Iowa and too, where she had to go up there. She was taken by ambulance because she aspirated on a piece of chicken nugget. But he was always there in like those moments, and like I feel like that's like what you need to is like somebody to be there for you,
right?
In those moments where you feel like you need that support that you didn't have.
Well, and it's interesting too because like I've been asked on dates, especially recently, and I've actually turned them down, like or I've like made excuses or like I'm busy, which I truly am busy.
Yeah.
But like the nights that I don't have my kids, like instead of being depressed and in bed, I'm like actually enjoying it. Like you see, like my candles, I have a candle burning. Like it's a cozy,
so beautiful in here,
a cozy house. Like I'm reading books now. Like I want to enjoy me and enjoy this season as much as I can because I know I won't be single forever. But then I'm like, why am I not giving these men chances? Because they are nice.
Do you feel like the right one, like when it's the right one, you won't say no?
I know. I wondered about that too.
Or you'll feel that. You know what I mean?
I wondered about that too.
Yeah. Because that's how I felt with Andrew. And so, because I felt the same thing. I was like so cozy. I had my house. And
you're like, don't disturb my peace.
I would watch my Netflix series and read or take a nap and just take self-care time. But when you know.
Yeah.
I hate that saying, but it's true.
Yeah. But then how am I ever going to know if I don't give them a chance?
True.
I could be turning down my future husband.
You could.
But then if they're really my future husband, they'll wait for me.
Exactly. You should do your birth chart. See like who
what is that?
With. So it's like your horoscopes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So Andrew and I actually did our birth chart. It's when you put in like where you were born, what time you were born, and it breaks down like all of your signs. And we did ours, and we are 1,000% compatible and soulmates.
Stop.
Like our birth charts align perfectly, and it's really weird.
So pretty much do my birth chart, and then if they're not in the same whatever sign that I need to be, then just kick them to the curb.
See who you're most compatible with, and then like when you are scanning for men, look at their signs. Right? Yeah.
I actually just deleted the dating apps, like so I go on these spurts where like I'm lonely, I'm bored, like I just want somebody to come take care of me when I'm single and alone. And
how are dating apps now in 2025?
Oh, actually, I've had pretty good luck, like with dating on there, going on dates.
Yeah,
obviously not the best luck because I'm still single, but like there are some friendships that have developed out of them. Like there's one guy I talked to that like we reconnected on one, so that's kind of nice having like a friend right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So like Tinder. Is the Tinder still a thing?
So Facebook dating.
Okay.
Tinder.
I've heard about Facebook dating.
Tinder. And then I was on Bumble for a while too.
Wait, okay? That's not like the gay one, is it?
No, I want to go to a gay
What's the
dating
gay one?
Grindr.
That's what I was like. I knew that Bumble was not the gay one, but
no.
I actually got paid by a guy on Tinder. He paid me to go on dates with him if I did his laundry.
What?
I don't know if that's prostitution.
Did you do it?
Yeah.
Stop it.
I made like $500.
You're lying.
I know.
So if you're listening and you're single,
he worked on the pipeline, and he was like traveling, and he was like, if you go on dates with me and like have dinner with me and keep me company, and I will pay you to do my laundry. Oh. And I love doing laundry, so I was like yes. I don't know if that's prostitution.
No, you're doing laundry.
I mean, there were no sexual favors, so it's fine.
Oh my God, that's
funny. He paid me, and I was like, sure.
Stop.
It was fun. And he was from like
Yeah.
way down south, so I learned a
Yeah.
lot of like weird stuff.
Yeah. There was one guy I just reconnected with in January, like the beginning of the year. Started off the new year so happy, right?
Yeah.
Like went on a couple dates. Like I drove there, he drove here. We went to like when he drove here for a date, he was like, "Oh yeah, like would it be too much if like you go to this funeral with me?"
Uh-huh.
The one that we were just talking about
Okay,
before we
yeah.
started recording.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, no, like that's not weird. I'll go with you. He's like, are you sure? Because it's in your hometown, blah, blah, blah. I was like, sure, like that's fine. I'll go with you. Saw this man cry, right? Like cry, vulnerable. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like maybe this will be serious, right?
Yeah.
Saw this man literally cry. I'm rubbing his back, like, okay, this is date number 2, by the way.
Oh,
and I'm like,
moving a little fast.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? It's fine. Like, I
Yeah.
can be here for him, like, even if it's just as a friend, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, let's go get some food. I'm starving. Great. Went to go get some wings after, whatever. He left. So this was on a dating site. Or
Okay.
are we off topic or are we on topic?
No, we're fine.
We're on topic.
We
Okay.
don't have to keep an agenda.
You're
It's fine.
right.
Yeah.
So then we go eat. He obviously, like, we hang out. I'm like, I told my mom and dad about him. Like, we have plans the next couple weekends after.
Yeah.
I was going to take him to like an Iowa State wrestling meet. My parents have season tickets. They're like, we can't go. So do you want these tickets? I'm like, sure. I'll ask him if he wants to go. I'm like telling them a little bit about him. He never met them, obviously. So this was date number 2. He goes back home for the weekend because he has to work. And I think at that point I had my kids the rest of the weekend. So I just happened to have like a Friday night where I got a sitter or something. And then, yeah. So anyway, so the drinking part, this is where the drinking part, like, would I ever date somebody who drinks?
Yeah.
In this situation, no, because like we stopped talking and we were talking for like 3-4 weeks before it ended.
Okay.
Because he would drink and like not forget about me, but forget about me, right? Like he would like leave his phone. Like I was like obsessing. I'm like, okay, his location's on Snapchat. Like, where is he? Right.
Yeah.
So he goes home after the funeral and like it's like, he's like, I'm going to do better. Like when I'm out, like I'm going to try really hard to communicate with you and say, hey, I'm out, like whatever. But this man is like 4 years older than me, still drinking and partying. Like he's 20, like in his 20s.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, so that weekend happens. After the funeral, I'm rubbing his back one night and he's crying to me. And then the next night he is like out. The next night he's out again. Like, and I'm like, hey, you're doing it again. Like,
does he know like the drinking bothered you? Like that like drinking, like kind of like neglecting.
Right. Drinking didn't bother me. It's him not communicating with me.
Yeah.
Right. Like neglecting, going out, partying, whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, I know I'm doing it again. And I'm like, so what are you going to do to change it? Because I'm not for this. Like, you live an hour away. Like, I'm not here for this. Okay. Yeah. So then it like ended and I was like really heartbroken, which is interesting because we never even dated. So I think it's like a lot of TikToks like come up on my For You page and they're like, okay, like you obsess, I obsess over like the what could have been. And like, how can I be rubbing this man's back and he's crying to me one minute and then the next minute he's out drinking, forgetting about me the next.
Interesting. Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I can't do it. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't do it? Like,
you didn't even do anything.
Right. Like, we haven't even given this a chance. I was really upset about it.
That's
like,
hard though.
Oh my God. I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I just got broken up with, but I didn't because we never even dated.
Do you feel like sometimes like, because I do this too, which is we're so alike. Like I feel we are like soulmate friends.
Right.
Because I feel like I grieve, and I've done this my whole life. I grieve losses that really aren't even losses.
Right. It's like the what could have been.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I had a friend who was a guy and I was like, oh, like we're going to be like, I felt like for a second that we were going to be like soulmates and I was going to marry him. It was like way when I was younger. And I was like, but like we were friends, but like we weren't friends. I kind of like the same thing. Like I didn't know him very well.
Right.
But we were friends. But I was so devastated when he got married. This is like back way when. And I was like, why? Like there was nothing there.
Right. But there was something there.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you have this image of like your future with them before it even happens.
Yes.
It's so like it's
like
I can't
what
even
can be.
Right.
That's so
and
hard.
when you're in a relationship and you're in a marriage and it fails, you're like, well, at least we tried.
Yeah.
But these situationships are literally killing me.
Do you feel like when you like look back at your divorce, do you feel like that like actually having a divorce and like going through that like really like messed with your head mentally, because for me, I didn't come from a family of divorce. So for like, I don't want to say I was like the messed up, person of the family. 'Cause there are family members who have been divorced. But for me, that was so hard because I was like, no, like this has to be fixed. And like, I only had a couple boyfriends prior to my first marriage. And one of them was like 6.5 years long. So I thought that was going to be mine. But like my divorce mentally like really messed with my head because that loss was so great, even though it wasn't really a loss.
It's interesting because like I knew we were gonna get divorced like before he filed. So like I remember specifically it was like a few months before, like months. It wasn't like a full year before he filed, but it was several months before. I was like, I know it's over.
Yeah.
So like I gradually like got over it. The hardest part for me, I also don't come from a family of divorce. So my parents are still married.
And my parents don't drink either. So that's kind of
right. That still married, don't drink.
Yeah.
Don't do like, I mean, talk about like breaking family cycles. Like both their siblings or both sides of the family, all their siblings drink, they smoke, whatever. Didn't make good choices, not judging them. But like my parents are like, we don't want to do this. Like we want to make healthier choices. We want to excel and succeed in life, whatever. Yeah. So that part was hard for me because I'm like, oh my God, I'm failing them. Like you guys have this beautiful marriage. Unfortunately, that's just not me right now. Like I want to be happy. I don't want to do this for another 10 years. So that was hard. But what's even harder is the kids, because now they're a statistic of a broken home, right? Like, and everyone's like, that's it's not a broken home, but it is though. It is. Like my son is old enough to know that his friends not all of them have two homes.
Right.
Like a lot of his friends go home to one home.
And we glamorize that whole, well, you're going to have 2 Christmases and you're going to have 2 birthdays. And that's sad in reality.
It really is.
I mean, even like with the termination with my kids, yes, I'm happy they're safe.
Right.
But the one person that was supposed to keep them safe is the biggest source of their pain and their trauma.
Right.
And that for me, I felt like I failed as mom. Immediately felt like that.
Oh, it's so hard. But then I think it's easier for like, I mean, I think it's definitely healthier this way because I'm not getting yelled at in front of them like I would have been. And I was.
And they will turn out okay. Yeah. Because they're not seeing that.
And they'll see love. Hopefully like on both sides, right? Like where they'll see both of their parents being happy with somebody else. And like, that's going to kill me to like them having a stepmom one day who sees them just as much as I do.
That was really hard for me.
Right.
Really hard for me.
I cannot even imagine. But it's I'm going to have to deal with it.
And hopefully, obviously, you don't have to deal with like the narcissism that comes with that. But there was always like this one-upping. And I did not like that. That did not sit well with me at all.
Right. Like, can't we all just be happy in there for the kids?
No. Yeah. Well, yeah, you should be. But no, that's not always the case.
Right.
She would get me like Mother's Day gifts and give them to me in front of people. And I was like, you don't even like me. Like, that's weird.
Right.
Yeah. And she would always blame one of my kids for everything. And she would post it on Facebook. So it was like drawing negative attention. It was really weird.
I know. I just pray that person like loves my kids as much as I do.
Yeah.
Which, absolutely. I mean, and he's even made comments like, duh, I would not be with somebody unless they loved our kids.
I mean, that's good though.
Oh, he's a great dad.
Yeah.
Shitty ass husband. Great dad.
Yeah. I mean, honest though. It's honest.
Right. Yeah. The hard part for me getting over like that whole divorce was like, okay, like verbal abuse is real. Was I perfect? Absolutely not. But like just knowing that like I'm worth more than that is I finally like overcame that.
Verbal abuse stays with you. I feel like I'm not diminishing physical or anything else.
Right.
But verbal abuse, that stays with you for years.
Oh, when you get called a piece of shit every day, guess what I started to believe? That I was literally a piece of shit.
My ex's favorite word was the C word. C-U-N-T.
Oh, I was definitely called that a couple times.
And I'm like, that is such a trigger for me. I'm like, can you not?
It's the worst word.
It's degrading. And
I know.
Derogatory. Beyond. And so anything like that is just awful.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nope. No thanks. Not about it. No. So like Andrew and I get along really well. There was a time when we were both kind of verbally going back at each other. Yeah. Not necessarily like that dark, but like he was married before and he dealt with a lot of that kind of
I
stuff.
always forget that he was.
Yeah, and he wasn't no kids or anything, but
Right.
he tells his story on my podcast about that whole
I
situation.
need to listen.
It's going to be coming out.
Oh, it's not even
It's
out
not
yet?
out yet.
Okay.
It releases pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
And I like hearing it from a man's perspective because that's not something I've had yet so far. So, but hearing it from that perspective, I'm like, oh. But then I see certain things in him
Mm-hmm.
that I'm like, you need to fix that because that's from your previous, like that's warped your sense of reality because you've experienced that in your previous marriage.
Is he like open to when you give him like criticism and like feedback?
Yeah.
Because my ex-husband was
Yeah.
not. I'd be like, listen, you need to not do that. And he'd be like, well, you do it.
So we have a rule. We created this a couple years ago. 2025. So yeah, a couple years ago. We have table talks.
Okay.
And so we will put our phones away. And if we have an issue,
I love that.
yeah, we sit down, either if it's on the couch or, and that's at the table, but
right
on the couch or wherever. And if we have an issue with one another, we have a rule in our marriage that we will not go to anybody else but each other. So we don't talk bad about each other behind, like to anybody else. If we have an issue, we deal with it behind closed doors.
Oh my God, I love that.
And it's very much like, you know, I feel like you can improve on this. For example,
right.
He told me, like, when I was going through all my really dark shit, going through all the court stuff with my ex, he was like, Lindsay, you have to check yourself. You have to.
Wow.
And I was like, you know, a little defensive. And I was like, I just can't accept this reality. And he's like, you have to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to go through it.
Mm-hmm.
And because I was sabotaging everything at that point. And I was trying to sabotage my marriage. And he was like, no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Let me be here for you. Let me love you. And I'm like, but I don't know how. You know what I mean? Like, I don't.
Right.
Like, how do you deal with that pain? Because I felt like I was responsible for that stuff with the kids for a really long time. So that was just really interesting to like look back on, for sure. Interesting. What do you think about this community, by the way?
What do you mean?
So Andrew talks about how he doesn't like the community that he grew up in because he had a really bad experience with people. Do you think that this is very cliquey?
Like this town in general?
Sure.
I don't know. Okay, so I was actually born and raised here.
Okay.
And so like all my life, and then I hit a point in high school where I was like, I want to get out. Like I want to see the world, right? So I went to UNI for 4 years. And then I did a lot of traveling. I don't even know if you know this about me. I traveled a lot.
Did you?
Oh, yeah. Like, so my freshman year, I actually did cheerleading at UNI. And then I didn't really like the program, but I'm like, a lot of people were quitting mid-season. I'm like, I'm going to finish out the year.
Yeah.
Finish out the year. The next year, got involved with a program called Camp Adventure. And then that summer after sophomore year, I went to Europe.
Oh,
it was
wow.
amazing.
That's so cool.
I was like, I'm born to do this. I'm born to travel.
That is so fun.
Lived in the Netherlands for a summer, worked with like infants and toddlers at on a NATO base.
God, I'm so jealous.
Yeah, a NATO base. So it was like a daycare setting.
Yeah.
For all the military kids.
Yeah.
The parents would like pick up from all these different countries in the Netherlands.
That is so cool.
Every weekend we would travel because when you're in Europe in that area, you can just take a quick train ride and you'll be in Germany.
Oh.
So we went to like Germany, France.
Have you been to Paris?
Yes, we went twice.
Was it beautiful?
Amazing.
Oh my gosh, that's like one on my bucket list.
We went like on their 4th of July. It's called Bastille Day. Okay. I think it's what it's called.
Yeah.
It was so long ago, but it was like we saw fireworks behind the Eiffel Tower. We were like lounging in the grass. Oh my God, it was amazing. Got like a bottle of wine, some snacks. We're college kids.
Yeah.
Weren't legal to drink yet, but there we were.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know that. I love that.
Switzerland. Gosh, Belgium.
I want to go there.
Oh my gosh.
Is that where? No. That's not where. Have you seen that?
Yeah. What country is that?
I really want to go there. I don't know. I don't
Is it in Switzerland? It might be.
It might be.
We were in Interlaken.
Or in Iceland. I guess that would make sense too.
Yeah.
But like there's a lagoon, the Blue Lagoon.
Okay.
That's what it is. I think that's.
What country is it in? Is it in Switzerland?
Can you Google it?
Let's Google it. Okay.
That is on my bucket list.
Heck yeah.
And then there's like an underwater hotel. I feel like that would be really fun.
Oh my gosh.
I love that you traveled to Paris. That's like my it's beautiful. It looks so beautiful on TV.
It was like a dream come true. Okay. Blue Lagoon.
It's like a hot springs or
Iceland.
something. Yeah, that was right. I think I said ice lagoon. That doesn't make any sense.
Pretty.
Doesn't it look pretty?
Under the lights.
Yeah.
The northern lights.
That'd be beautiful.
Oh, okay.
We could plan a trip there.
Right.
Yeah, we
so
could.
went to Europe one summer, worked with kids.
Uh-huh.
And then the next summer I went to China, taught English to middle schoolers, like 5th and 6th graders. We went to like Hong Kong. It was just really cool. Beautiful. I would never go back to China, climb the Great Wall. It was like a whole thing. It was really cool.
How long did that take?
The Great Wall. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't time it.
Oh.
I was
it like
miserable.
a while?
Huh?
It was a while though, wasn't it like
yeah. Talk about a drinking problem though.
Yeah.
I was 21. Went, like, I specifically remember being so hungover the day that we were at the Great Wall that I puked.
Oh no.
Like everywhere.
That's kind of a memory. That's kind of a killer memory though.
But I'm like, I had a huge drinking problem.
True.
We would go out all the time in China. It was wild.
Well, you're 21.
I smoked Chinese cigarettes. Like wild.
Wait, is that a thing?
Yeah, well.
Is it not good?
No, it was good. They were good. Instead of like drinking a beer, we would just like smoke a cigarette. And it'd give you like the same buzz.
Is it different between China cigarettes and then US cigarettes?
I think that they were like better there. They're gross here.
I don't like I smoked I smoked for a really long time.
You did?
I did.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And actually I smoked the last time I smoked was like 2022. I got so mad. I don't even know what. I think it was because of a rumor, actually.
Right.
I went out and bought cigarettes and smoked a whole pack on my porch.
Wow.
Over the course of like 4 hours. And I was like, fuck you. I don't care.
I have a family member who did that when we were growing up. I'm saying family member because she's probably going to listen to this and kill me if I say who it is.
Yeah, we won't say who it is.
Oh my God, I found out years later and she's like, oh my God, you guys would stress me out so much I would just smoke. And I'm like, you did? I can't believe you would do that. I thought you were perfect and an angel. So yeah, I don't know. That was wild.
Yeah, I used to smoke when I got mad.
That's what she would do.
Oh, it was so relaxing.
She's like, it was relaxing. It was a huge stress reliever. And I'm like, my heart was broken. I'm like, I can't believe you were a smoker. Not like it even made.
No.
Whatever.
My parents made me promise. My mom's probably going to listen to this. To not like ever smoke in the car that they got me. Because they got me a brand new Ford Fusion when I turned 18.
And you smoked in it.
I had cigarette burns in the ceiling.
You did that to your car?
I did not. Somebody else did. And I was so pissed.
Right.
But I smoked in that car and then I would air it out like thinking that would help.
That's funny.
You know, and then have you ever, so when I was in high school, we ran from the cops. Shocker. I fell
Sorry,
into a
Andrew.
hole. Yeah. Sorry, I'm making you look really bad. Not any worse than anybody else around. I ran from the cops, fell into a hole, was stuck in there for 2 hours because it was like a hole in the middle of a cornfield.
Shut up.
But I thought that putting a penny under my tongue was going to get rid of the alcohol. Because I thought that was a thing when I was 16.
Right.
And it did not. I actually got kicked off the cheerleading squad for that. Good thing I didn't go to jail. But yeah, I used to smoke. I started smoking when I was like 16.
Dang.
Yeah.
Was it hard to quit?
No. It wasn't regular. It was like mostly just like when I was like stressed.
Right.
It was funny.
Yeah, it's weird because it was like only that summer. Then the next summer after China, where did I go? Or no, I think that was student teaching. So then student teaching came up. I always knew that I was going to be a teacher.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, you can go abroad or you can do stateside, like Colorado, wherever. And I was like, oh no, I'm leaving this country again.
Yeah.
Right. Like at that point I was like addicted.
Yeah.
And I was like, sign me up for whatever country. And they're like, well, do you have your preferred countries? And I was like, no, like literally I don't care.
That is so fun.
I said, actually don't take me back to Asia.
Yeah.
Did not like Asia because when I puked in like the hole at the Great Wall, they didn't have westernized toilets. It was like a hole in the ground. So like that's
Ew.
another reason why I didn't like.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that like the toilets that are just like you have to squat over them?
It's not even a toilet. It's literally a hole in the ground.
That's where you go to the bathroom?
Yes.
That's weird.
Nobody warned me. And I was shocked and I was upset and I was mad and the mosquitoes there were horrible. It was a whole thing.
Oh.
I hated it.
Because I saw in India that they have the ones you have to like squat over.
Right.
And no, I'm like, how does that work?
A lot of them, like, in China, it was literally just like, imagine just a hole cut out in the ground.
What about washing your hands?
That was normal.
Okay.
But then,
so weird.
so like another thing too is like you can't throw away like the toilet paper.
So do you keep it?
Just throw it away in the garbage.
Ew.
I know.
It's kind of a biohazard.
Thank God the camp that we were teaching at, they had westernized toilets, whatever.
Yeah.
That was
thank
good.
God, because that's weird.
I was miserable.
I would probably have a heart attack.
Oh my God, the mosquitoes there were so bad, I remember.
You probably like mosquito bites all over you.
I did. And like no medicine because we're in a foreign country. Yeah.
I'm allergic to mosquitoes. Like severely allergic.
You would not have survived.
My face would swell shut.
You would not have survived in China. It was bad.
Well,
I remember like complaining to my parents on FaceTime about like the mosquitoes, and then one just like zzz, right in front of my face, and they start laughing. I'm like, you guys, I want to go.
Do you know your blood type?
No.
Because apparently, so mine is A positive. Probably shouldn't have said that.
We'll bleep it out.
I don't know what anybody's going to do with my blood type, but mosquitoes are really attracted to A positive blood type.
Oh, I wonder if that's what I have.
So I learned that when I was going to the doctor. I was like, huh, interesting.
Yeah. And then you're allergic to them.
I'm severely allergic. My eyes swelled shut when I was like in like elementary school. And I couldn't see anything. And I ran into the tree in my parents' backyard. Sad. That's how fast it swelled shut. Like I was like, oh fuck, I'm going blind. I thought I was going blind. I was like, I'm never gonna see again. Like, and I just ran into a tree.
So dramatic.
It's a little bit dramatic, but it's a little dramatic too, because I was like, help me.
Right.
My parents didn't believe me when that's funny. You said, I said dramatic. I burnt all the skin off my feet when I was a freshman in high school because I was making ramen noodles after volleyball practice. My parents were at parent-teacher conferences. You know how that lasts till like 8 o'clock. Mm-hmm. I got the ramen out of the microwave, went to go sit down, tripped over my parents' end table, and all the hot water from the ramen landed on my feet. And I remember telling my parents, I called the school and I was like, I need my mom and dad.
Are they teachers?
Yeah.
Okay.
They both were. Okay. They retired.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, they're in parent-teacher conference. I said, I'm dying. So my mom's like, what? I was like, I burnt all the skin off my feet. And my mom was like, you'll be fine. Hangs up. And I was like, shit. Like, I can't even stand up at this point.
Oh my God.
And I have blisters everywhere. So I had 2nd and 3rd degree burns all over my feet. And so they finally came home. Well, it was like an hour later. And it was hailing. And they were like, oh, wow, your feet are really bad. I'm like, you think? I'm like bawling. Yeah. And I have blisters. And my dad, I remember carrying me outside, and the hail was hitting my feet and popping the blisters. And I was like, oh my fucking, I was gonna die. I thought I was gonna die.
I bet it hurt.
They had to soak my feet for like 9 hours in the ER, and they had to wrap them. I had to get like I had to go like I don't know, skin graft people, but I could not wear shoes for 8 months. It was the weirdest thing, but that just reminded me of the dramatics because I was like, I'm gonna die.
Right.
But I probably could have, maybe.
If you didn't get taken care of, yeah.
My feet would have fallen off.
Something.
I have really weird monkey feet, so it's fine. Monkey feet. That's what my husband calls them. Monkey toes. I pick things up with my toes.
Do you really?
I do.
Weird.
My daughter has the same feet. She funny. Just grabs things. She'll hand them to her dad and be like, here. Yeah. It's funny. I love that. Oh my God. No, our conversations are fun.
I know.
This is interesting. Well, we both have to work tomorrow, so we probably should go to bed soon.
Even though I just chugged an Alani, so
I did too.
That's fun. And
actually, that's my second.
It's 8:30. You had an Alani before this?
I did. But this is my aloe water.
Okay.
I drink aloe vera. Is that weird?
I don't know. No.
I mix it with water.
Where do you get it from?
Hy-Vee.
Oh.
Shout out Hy-Vee.
No. Not sponsored.
No, not sponsored. This is not a paid advertisement.
Not paid advertisement. Yeah, right?
No, we're going to have to do a part 2.
I know.
I feel like people are going to be intrigued.
Yeah. We kind of hit everything that we wanted to talk about, so.
We did. We're going to have to talk about like more like self-growth stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
And just overcoming things that are difficult.
Absolutely.
Without a lot of, well, not without a lot of support, but without the support we thought we would have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it kind of just feels like a delusion, honestly, because it's just, those friendships were never real.
Right.
Which is hard. But I feel like, and I think this is probably important because for people to hear, but I feel like our friendship developed from something that we had so many, like, not, oh, how do I want to say this? We had so, like, the wrong impressions on each other.
Mm-hmm.
And now I feel like we are so, like, on the same
Yeah.
page, and we're so,
Well, there was like a lot of like he said, she said,
Yeah.
like, and I feel like it was, again, maybe we just like, I don't even know how to like say it. We just fell in, it was almost like a trap, right? Like
Mhm.
we fell into like what people were saying about us and like, oh, well, Lindsay did this. Well, Emily did this. Like,
Mhm.
well, she said this, but she said this. And it's like, I don't know.
Feels kind of like a little bit of like an adrenaline high
Yeah.
because you get caught up in that
Yep.
exciting drama. So, yeah.
I don't want drama. I just want a boring life.
I aspire to be a grandma who does nothing but like, I want to learn how to knit.
Oh,
I learned how to make butter, which is not really hard, but
interesting.
just put heavy whipping cream in a
Yeah.
mixer. But
Fun.
I want to learn how to do things that are like
Right.
old people things.
Right.
That's not, I mean, we can be like the old ladies playing cards or whatever, sitting around gossiping. That'd be fun.
Right.
But not.
Did you hear what Billy did the other day?
Well, Helen said he fell down and broke his hip because he was walking around outside again without his cane.
That dang Billy. You can't trust him. He has to remember his cane.
I think Helen's gonna throw it away. That motherfucker doesn't use it anymore.
Okay, anyway.
Peace out, you guys.
Gosh, what was I gonna say though? I feel like I could keep talking, but it's okay. We'll save it for next time.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about.
Now that I'm laughing, crying, tears are literally rolling down my cheeks.
Oh, we're like the little old ladies.
Don't disturb our peace.
Don't disturb our peace, bitches. Okay, I know that was a lot. However, I want to take a couple minutes and just wrap this episode up. If, by chance, you are listening to this episode and this is upsetting to you, if by chance you are one of these people that we were referring to on the podcast who we did not name, and we will not name, we will not talk about you because you don't deserve our energy and we are at peace with ourselves. But if for some reason this pisses you off, or you feel the need to go and gossip about this, or come at me or Emily or whoever, and you feel the need to tear other people down because you are insecure or you have low self-esteem, or if you are just so miserable in your own life that seeing someone else go through a hard time brings you joy, which, by the way, is not a flex, that is not a good quality to have, I encourage you to self-reflect on why you are doing that. Why are you tearing people down? Why are you gossiping? Why are you choosing to be popular? Which you may be popular, but I think it's not for the reasons you think it is. And I think that oftentimes when we think of being popular or having a lot of friends, that big crowd that you have is often because you're really lonely and you're really insecure. And people who have character, people who are authentic or genuine, often are loners. They are the people that have small circles. They're the people that are quiet and read the room quietly. They are not the loudest in the room. So if you are loudest in the room, or you are talking and gossiping, or you are part of the reason that we were treated the way that we were, shame on you. Shame on you. You are not a good person. You can pretend to be. You can tell yourself that you are, but you have a lot of work to do. You have a lot of reflecting to do in order to find the happiness that Emily and I have achieved. And, if by chance this comes all full circle back around and you're upset that you were on this podcast again, unnamed, but still discussed as a topic, and you are mad, you are probably dealing with some sort of situation that can help you become a better person. So I advise you or encourage you to find self growth over falling back into bad habits and toxic patterns. And take accountability, have integrity, have character. You know, when we are talking about people on here, those people are lacking integrity. Those people are lacking morals that keep them honest, whether it's in society or professional world or personal world, whatever it may be. That integrity, that security, those morals and ethics are not there. And I'm not going to filter things on this podcast. That is not what this is about. This is about being able to speak out on things that society doesn't want to talk about. And guess what? Society doesn't want to talk about these things. So here I am, and I'm not going anywhere. So if you have a problem with it, I really, and I mean this with all genuineness coming from my heart, reflect on who you are as a person. Do the hard work to become a better person. If you know that you are gossiping, stop yourself. And if you are gossiping, and if you were behind the letters and the Facebook profiles, and if you were doing things to people to talk behind their backs, shame on you. Shame on you for being that low of a human to knock somebody else down, whether they're going through a hard time or not. Shame on you. And I hope that you do the work to become a better person, because don't forget that the truth always comes out. And if you're going to do something shady, or if you're going to do something that you don't want coming out into the public or into the world, then don't do it. Don't do it. You have no one to blame but yourself. If you're mad at somebody, take a look in the mirror and be mad at yourself, and then do something to better yourself. That would be a favor to not only you, but also those around you. So I'm ending this episode now. I hope you guys all have a fantastic day, and I will see you later.